everybody. It works.
Okay.
That's about normal.
Right across from
Listen,
Park.
Danny hides
The one
behind
house right
the,
across from that.
Give me a just that right in.
she can adjust it if you'd like.
That was
Mr. Wallace.
as I understood it. He was not here, they were not there,
We can adjust it. So are we not gonna make her silly today?
not a lot of answers or.
And we're,
That'd be awkward. No,
we're fixing it.
yeah, we're gonna have our little farm.
Are we good? I believe that we are on time. Are we started?
Oh, yeah, we're there. Is everybody ready?
We're coming.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you all for coming. If I could get, if we could do an amendment to the agenda to add Jason Similar regarding bonding and the adult probation and additionals towards the end of the meeting. Do I have a motion for that amendment?
Motion.
All right, I have a motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
All right, thank you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Okay, first thing on the agenda, sheriff, additional requests.
Yes, we do.
Well, the podium's not up, so maybe.
But the microphones are still here, so.
Okay. How are ya? This thing on? Hello? It doesn't.
It doesn't amplify, it just No, you records. can't hear it, it's just for the video.
All right. So I don't know which one you guys have
So the first one we have in front of us is a $20,000 repairs and maintenance additional for the county general.
For the cars.
Mhm.
Okay, so Dwight's gonna help me out with this. I know when we came at budget time, aging fleet. I'm guessing our average car is a 2020 if you put them all together. You just can't help it when cars start breaking and we don't have a new fleet. Things that you wouldn't expect to happen, but they are happening with our 17s, 14s, 15s. I mean, we've got some very old vehicles. Our major repairs are fuel pumps, water pumps, brakes and rotors. We've spent $4,000 on 3 different Explorers this year. And a typical brake and rotor job is just under $2,000. So we just need to keep our fleet on the road until something comes along to help us get new vehicles.
Yeah, we've got two new Tahoes waiting in the wings here at JTN. Aside from those, you're still talking the 6 lowest seniority merits are in 2020s or older. And then obviously we've got 3 reserves assigned, the Explorers, and we got a fleet of pool cars that date back to 14 or 15s. So we're just trying to keep them on the road. And I think the prices on maintenance has gone up exponentially, obviously for everybody, not just us, but some hefty bills.
Do we have any questions for them? This has been advertised out of county general, and this has also been advertised for the sheriff's lit, which has $482,433 in it. Is there a particular place that the council would like to take this out of?
Makes sense, take it out of the lit.
Okay. Is that a motion?
Yes.
All right, I have a motion by Jay to take this out of the lit for $20,000. Do I have a second? All right. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Jay, who was the second on that?
Carrie.
Carrie, thank you. Nope, that's fine. All right, the next one we have is for $40,000 with the inmate medical.
Yes, another one unexpected. We've had a few that are requiring some very high price prescriptions that we have to provide for them. Just October through December, or excuse me, July through September, our prescription bill was $8,420. Our monthly invoice for QCC is $21,000. We don't even have enough to pay them for December. So we're estimating another $8,000 to come for those prescriptions. We have about $7,500 in dental bills that haven't been billed to us yet, which we may be able to hold off on those until January, but I hate to do that, we need to pay our bills, so. We can't help medical bills for inmates,
Right.
unfortunately.
Do we have any questions? There is, so that is the same way, that's been advertised out of County Journal and the jail lit. And the jail lit, has the 958,951 in it. Do we have a preference on that?
Take it out of the lid.
Alright, is that a motion, Danny?
Second.
And Jay second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And the last one, we have a $10,000 for repairs and maintenance, for, out of the jail lit, for aging building issues and rising cost of repairs.
Yes, in September alone, our HVAC bill was $5,700, so, we have $1,400 in that account with $1,600, almost $1,700 in outstanding invoices that we need to pay. And who knows with the heat now running, what we're gonna run into. That was mainly for air, but, you know, the kitchen, the laundry, the plumbing issues they got into when you, with the new, it just
Right.
adds up. Unfortunately, everything's rising.
Do we have any questions? Alright, we have a $10,000 additional out of the jail lit. Do we have a motion for approval?
Motion.
Amanda made the motion, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Wayne second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Alright, thank you guys.
Thank you.
So, they aren't here, but Evelyn's gonna take care of it. The commissioner's additional request, 26,400 is out of the property and casualty insurance. It's just, I'm assuming it's the extra insurance cost, Evelyn,
Yeah, last year
we had to do it in additional for it, so.
Hopefully
Alright.
remember in budget cycle this time.
I know, this is the time of the year to have to do all this. Do we have any other questions? Do I have a motion for approval?
So moved.
Danny made the motion for approval, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Wayne second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We also have a $3,551 repairs, maintenance, and service for County General Fund for the EMA budget, to cover the expenses of repairs to the department's vehicles. Do you know anything else about this one, Evelyn?
I think Tom.
Okay,
Sarah's
sorry.
here.
Sorry.
That's okay. And that estimate is actually, it's actually less. They didn't have me listed as tax exempt yet,
Okay,
so I brought the updated, the EMA Tahoe.
okay.
The 2013 needs the front differential replaced.
Mhm. So the request repair total is actually $3,199.34, so it's less than what was advertised, so that's always a plus. Do we have any questions for her?
Move to approve it.
All right, Jay made a motion to approve,
I'll second.
Amanda second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The next one is $125,000 for the purchase of land out of the jail lit fund to purchase the property on County Road by the jail. So the property that we've been leasing for the $500 a month, that blue building there, they're actually in the process of moving forward to get that done, so that is what this additional is for. They were discussing it at yesterday's commissioners meeting also. Danny made the motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Okay, second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. We also have 3 additionals out of the edit war chest, which was done by our request. So the first one is for $25,000 for Bridge 122. The second one is for $275,000 for Bridge 133. And the third one is for $200,000 for Bridge 154. This is money that we had told them that they would do, we would approve earlier on, but this is breaking it out so we can keep track of the money per bridge like we had asked, so. Do I have a motion for approval?
We approving each individual one or the whole?
And we can approve them all together.
Okay, motion.
Amanda made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Jay second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. They're not in here yet. Evelyn will go ahead and do the auditor's additional for $10,000, for the sales disclosure fund.
Yes.
She is working to digitize the transfer books, commissioners and council meetings, just to try and move things forward to the plus that she has to take over if we decide to move to do an annex, which is something that needs to be done anyway. And this is out, she's taking it out of the sales disclosure fund instead of the county general itself, so that saves county general. Do I have any questions? Motion? Danny made the motion, do I have a second?
Second.
Jay second, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. The adult probation, I'm assuming Teresa was not coming for that one?
I told him I would represent him.
Okay, well then I'll let you talk, or I'll stop
I
talking.
already told you.
Yeah, it's not been public on that part yet. So we have a transfer, actually, appropriation request for adult probation, for a total of $9,689. This is the end of the year transfers to keep their accounts so that they don't go in the red. Do you wanna do these all individually? I can read them all out loud individually, and then we can do them all as a total. Is that okay with everybody?
Yep.
There's a 30305, transfer from 30305 to the 10128 for $3,694. The 30305 transfer to the 10124 for $16,325. Wait a minute, let me start that again. There's a 30305 to the 10128 for $100. A 30305 to the 10124 for $339. A 30308 to the 10124 for $2,015. A 30308 to the 10121 for $550. A 30308 to the 10153 for $385. 30471 to the 10153 for $800. A 40401 to the 10153 for $5,000, and a 20201 to the 10153 for $500, totaling $9,689. Do I have any questions for Evelyn? Do I have a motion for approval? All right, Amanda made the motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second it.
Wayne second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you very much. That was done. Let's go ahead and do the 2026 salary ordinance. So this is the salary for the 2026 year. Do we have any questions in regards to that? Okay. Do I have a motion for approval? All right, Danny made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Carrie second. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. And then minutes for the October 21st. Do we have any additions, corrections that need to be done? Hearing none, do I have a motion for approval?
Make a motion.
Ray made the motion. Do I have a second?
Second.
Amanda second, because I heard her first. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Well, they're not here yet. They called, they've been in court hearings or something all day. But you wanna go ahead and, is there anything else, any other business that anybody needs to talk, board appointments? I know Brian, you gave kind of an update before the meeting. Would you like to give a very brief update to the rest of the board as far as what the status is of the purchase?
Yeah, still making progress. The attorney for the commissioners, Mr. Inslee, is working on with the hospital's attorney to
appreciate that, thank you.
You bet. Any questions? All right.
We also have a letter from the town of Cloverdale regards, which says, we are writing to advise you that the Cloverdale Redevelopment Commission will be presenting its annual report regarding each of its TIF areas at its meeting to be held on November 20th, 2025 at 7 p.m. The meeting will take place at the Cloverdale Town Hall located at 154 South Main Street. Just for everybody's information. I don't know that there's anything we need to do with that, oh, something else. And there's a notice of public comment from IDEM in regards to Lone Star Industries Incorporated doing business as we speak. If anybody would like to look at either one of these, this is our mail. Anybody? It's here for after the meeting. All right, Jason.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Don't tell me you're the report one.
Nope. I'm sorry, do what?
I said, don't tell them that you're the important ones anymore.
I know.
Good evening, it's been a while. Thank you.
Yeah, Jason, would you like to introduce, because Brian has not met you yet.
Okay, sure. Jason Simler, principal of Baker Tilly. I serve as financial advisor for the county. I worked for the county for decades, off and on, for various projects. So I've been working with the county, particularly why I'm here tonight is for the annex building in the project. And talking to Rick a few weeks ago, it sounds like the project scope size has been kind of determined around that $16 million amount. Now on that, the scope of the project has been decided. Now I'm talking about financing. So we're talking about bonding for the majority of the project funding. There's been funds that the county has accumulated over years. They've kept in the fund about $2.2 million, but the remaining probably going to borrow for it. So that's kind of why I'm here tonight, because it looks like, from what I understand, you're doing a BOT, build, operate, transfer process, which means that the architect engineers that you're working with, they're going to basically guarantee a maximum price for the project. My understanding is the goal is to get that number next month, early December, middle of December. So once you have that project, or that number, then we're ready to move forward with financing, you decide to go forward with the project. And they tend to think that they can, start construction, February, March, April. So our goal is to try to get everything in process, everything approved, bonds ready to be sold. That way you have money on hand when they're ready to start moving dirt. So that's why I'm here tonight, because now that we kind of have the project size figured out, what I want to talk to you about tonight is, one, to make sure that we want to move forward, but then talk about how long we want to issue the bonds. And then if you have any funds on hand that can start making payments in 2026. So that's my goal tonight. So I put together some schedules in front of you. I'll kind of go through these. They're similar to what some of you saw almost probably a year ago, actually. It's been that long, but you turn to page 2. Again, the amount of construction cost is right under, and fees were right under $16 million, adding some additional architect and engineering fees. That takes us to about $60,295,000. We are having to do a lease financing because this is above the county's debt limit. So if you remember, there's kind of a state law where you can only issue so much general obligation debt, and it's based upon your assessments. This amount is above that threshold slightly. But we can still issue bonds to fund large projects like this. We just have to go through a lease financing. And during that process, we can't pay any principal interest on the bonds unless we have something to lease, basically something that's up and running. And we can't lease some existing buildings. Right now, I've assumed we haven't done that, and we're just going to capitalize the interest during the construction period. Now, it's very easy to lease an existing building, but that's one thing I wanted to talk to you about, because that means we have to come up with some cash to make the payment next year, because it'll be too late to levy a tax. So that's something we can talk about. Also, we have an underwriter's discount. We assume that's 1% of the par amount of the bonds, and then we have bond issuance costs and contingencies around $290,000. So if you look at the 10-year option, you can see it's about $15,170,000 is what assuming that you still have that $2,220,000 that to be accumulated. I know some of that money's already been spent to help pay for some of the architect and engineering fees that's already been incurred to date. But those monies that you've already incurred, those expenses are part of that $16,295,000. So again, that leaves about $15,170,000. You can see that really the only number that's changed is if you look at the second number from the top, the capitalized interest. You can see the longer out we go, that number increases, because the longer out we go, the higher the interest rate, because the longer term, if you think about like your mortgage, if you have a 15-year mortgage versus a 20-year mortgage or a 3-year mortgage, the interest that you have to pay is more. That's why that number increases. Any questions on the sources and uses? If not,
No?
on page 3, and I have the detail in the back. I just kind of, if you look at, go ahead and skip to page 5. This is the 10-year option, because the last time we talked over a year ago, one, we didn't know the size of the project, what we were all in agreement to. We also didn't know the term of the bonds, if you wanted to do a 10-year bond or up to 20 years. 20 years is the max that we can do. So I wanted to show those options to you as well. So page 5 is just the 10-year option. Again, if we do go forward with the project, we close around March 19th. And you can see the very first 3 payments, you can see their middle page are capitalized. That means we're paying, using bond proceeds to fund the interest during construction. And that's because we're anticipating, based upon the architects and engineers, the project will be done around June of 2027. So then our first real payment wouldn't be due until January 2028. And then you can see then it's about $1 million every 6 months, or about $2 million, every year. Now, if you go to the next page, we did a 12-year option, because at the time that was one of the options you wanted us to look at. Well, I guess go back to page 5. You can see the interest on that, about $3 million. Now, if you go to the next page, if you go off 12 years, you can see the annual payment went from about $2,070,000 to $1,750,000. So again, the annual payment's less, but as you can see, the total interest during that 12-year period is now $3.8 million. So just kind of like your mortgage, the longer you go out, the more interest you're paying, but just smaller the payment. So now if you go back to page 3, I kind of summarized the 4 scenarios. Again, the 10-year, the annual payment's about $280,000. The total payments over that 10-year period is about 17.6. Again, it's on page 3, sorry. And then what's really important is the tax rate. We talked about at least a portion, if not all, of the annual payment being collected for payback from a new tax on everyone in the county. So for a 10-year bond issue that has an annual payment of about $2,080,000, we'd have to levy a new property tax rate of about 8.6 cents. Versus a 12-year, it's about 7 cents. 15-year, it's about 6 cent rate increase, and 20-year, about 5 cent rate increase. So when you think about it, the longer the term, the lower the payment, the lower the tax rate that we need to fund that annual payment. And then on the next schedule, I tried to illustrate for a taxpayer what that would be. So about a $100,000 house, you can see that the tax bill, the annual tax bill would increase by about $25 for a 10-year bond, or for a 20-year bond, it would increase by about $15 a year. You go to like a $200,000 house, a person's tax bill would increase by about $53 a year. For a 10-year bond versus a 10-year bond, it'd be about $31. And you see a $300,000 house, anywhere from $77 to $45 increase. And you have a 1 acre of land, the impact, and also a $100,000 business. And these are taxpayers that I would add that are hit by the cap. So if you're like in Greencastle, where the tax rates are higher and you're at the property tax cap, you're not going to see an increase in your tax bill. But we will see a slight increase in circuit breaker losses for
So you said because of the amount, it has to be a lease. I don't know, wait, it's a lease to what? To own, basically, or?
Well, no, this is more legal jargon because it gets to just state statute.
Have to have collateral.
Well, that's not even collateral,
Okay.
it's just that, we can't issue more than, your debt limit, which is around $12 million, I believe.
Well, that's fine, but, so to get to my question, because of that reason, that's how come you get the estimated capitalized interest?
Now, we can lease like the courthouse, because it's an operation, you're using the courthouse. So we can lease the courthouse, and since that's building operation, we can make lease rental payments during the construction of this building.
Okay. I mean, like, the 10-year example, you know, you've got over 20% of your interest for the life of the loan comes in that first 18 months on those three.
Well,
Am I reading
600,000
that right?
out of 3 million. Because their total interest is 3 million.
That's 20%, correct, of the total?
No, 20, well, yeah, yes, it is, yeah.
So I mean, there's no other way to,
We could pay, and you're still gonna have to pay for that, but we're paying for that out of bond proceeds. So like, let's say you had $600,000 of cash, from your lit fund, we could pay for that instead of using bond proceeds. And we could reduce the bond by the $600,000. So that's something I didn't wanna assume here, because I didn't wanna assume that it's something they have available. But if you do have cash on hand,
From
available
our,
for 2026,
right, 'cause
we could start making payments in 2026 and not have to borrow that $600,000.
but you can't make any
Principal,
payments.
we could, but then we have to make sure that whatever we lease is worth $1 million. And in that case, we might have to lease more than one building. And in that case, we're gonna have to get, or either case, we're gonna get appraisals on this building, so then we're starting adding costs. So we can, if that's what you'd like, we just have to lease more than one building to get us to that $1 million threshold. But I think I talked to, Ice Miller, who's your bond counsel, and she felt very comfortable we could do interim lease rental payments, as it's called, and cover the interest on them without incurring that much more additional expenses and finding multiple county buildings to lease. But then, you know, when we can do that, then again, that's just more cash on hand that we have to use up front. And I didn't want to strap you guys or even suggest that we do that without talking to you first. But if you have an extra, you know, $400,000 or $500,000 in your cash flow next year, that's $500,000 less we get tomorrow.
I mean, we have the annex fund that we have been paying the other stuff out of, and I don't know how much is left in that at the moment, but, well, I mean, that's what we put that money for.
Well,
Now, that's already been spent, the money have been there, unless you put more money in this year, or plan on for next year, that's part of that 2.2 million.
Oh, that's true, that's true.
Yeah, so,
Yep, I forgot
we
about
don't
that.
wanna spend that twice.
Nope, okay.
So this would be above, and if you have money
On top of it.
above and beyond that account.
Okay.
So Jason, I have a question. So when we were talking about financing back summertime, we had, our local banks came forward and would put forth and that they would be able to cover this debt for the county. I bet three different ones going together. So what, is that option still available
Yeah.
in lieu of bond? How would we move forward? How can we, or can we have a discussion of, is that better for us? Is it worse? I mean,
Yeah.
how do we go forward with that?
It would still be a bond if we go through the local banks.
Okay,
And if you'd like, we talked about, once you decide to go forward with this project, we could send out the term sheet to see what the local banks, could do and compare that to what we think we could do in a broader market. Or we can just do a kind of competitive sale where we open it up to underwriters and banks throughout the entire state and the entire country, really, and have them bid at the same time. I'd do whatever you would like.
okay.
Banks
our bond fees change if we use local banking, or
Yes,
does it?
and we can take that into account, yeah.
Okay,
Because if we go with a competitive sale, we'd probably get a bond rating. There's a fee for that. We have to put together an offering document, that's more expensive. So we would weigh that against the interest rate we think we would get going that route versus
Okay.
what interest rate we might get with the bank. And the bank could be very competitive, but we may not have to do those additional steps.
okay,
But sometimes it's worth the extra fee up front to get a 0.5% better interest rate where you're gonna be saving hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars in interest.
okay.
But it also will determine whether we do a 10-year or a 20-year, because sometimes 20 years are even hard for banks to even commit to a fixed rate for that.
Okay.
But we can, regardless, it be a bond, and regardless of the decision tonight, we can contact the local banks.
Okay, all right.
Gentlemen?
Hi,
Hi.
sorry for our tardiness.
I
You
explained
know,
to them.
mediation, you never know how long it's gonna last, maybe an hour, maybe 12 hours.
Yeah.
You just don't know. Thank you, sir.
Yeah.
These are big bucks.
Does anybody have, while they're reviewing what Jason handed out and talked to us about, does anybody have any questions for Jason about any of this? I know it's a lot.
Yeah, and if you need me to repeat anything or during our contact, we could go over a lot.
I'm a bond
Numbers
dummy,
and
so
scenarios.
I'm okay with anybody asking questions. I've been through a bond before when we built the EOC, but on that side of it, not over on this side of it, so. But I've also listened to Jason explain this many, many times so far also. Gary? Wayne? Amanda?
It's just a tough pill to swallow.
At what point do we have to decide if we're gonna go 100% of this towards
Property taxes.
property taxes, or 50%, or 70, or whatever the number is?
Right now, we're selling it as it's 100% property taxes, but every year when you do your budget, you can make that decision. Let's say you have, local income taxes, and you have an extra $500,000. You could apply $500,000, and then when you do your budget, let's say it's $2 million, you'll have to levy for another $1.5 million. So it's an annual decision on how much you want to levy. But right now, we're gonna market these as 100% property taxes, because that's, from the bond market standpoint, that's the most secure revenue stream that we have. So we want to go out with our strongest foot forward. After that, it's whatever the council decides.
If we take these out to sell bonds, I know on our RDC, TIF bonds are not selling well right now. Are these bonds selling okay?
Yes, yeah, yeah, we are, we're in, end of year is always very, very heavy, so it's kind of probably good that you're waiting until the spring. But yeah, we're selling, 20-year bonds at under 4%. So interest rates are low. So if you have to borrow money, this is a good time to borrow.
That page 115 million number, does that include, we still have money left over from our original $2 million?
No,
Is it all?
no, we're
immediate
closer
now?
to 18 million
So,
with payback.
Well,
yeah, it's all
that includes the 2.2 million in that fund. I'm including that to get to the $15 million bond.
Okay.
Because the total project with the 50 million construction and architect, engineer, and bond cost.
Some of these fees we've already paid.
Right, so that 2.2 million, you really don't have that much
I
left.
would say a lot of these fees we've already.
Right. But I wanted to be full transparent to the total cost of the project and the total fund. So, yeah.
So which is gonna raise the property taxes.
Lot for farmers.
That's page
Thanks.
4.
Excuse me, goodness.
So, if you look at the scenario 1, which is a 10-year, which is the shortest period of time with the highest annual payment, for a $100,000 house, you would see an increase in your annual property taxes of $25. $200,000 house, about 53, $300,000, about 78.
Goodness gracious.
100,000.
Excuse me.
Scenario 2 is if you do a 12-year bond. Scenario 3, if you do a 15, and scenario 4, we go up to the max and do a 20-year bond.
less interest that way also.
Well, with the age of the jail, I don't think we could go longer than 10 years.
No, because that's the next project, I
Yeah.
mean, they're, yeah, it's just gonna be a project after project from this point on, to continue to get things where they need to be in the county.
And that's where we struggle with the jail, we're being told those scenarios, it's not expandable,
Right.
and so it's not expandable. Take that for what it's worth. If you build a new one now, we're talking, what, $40 million minimum?
Why is it not expandable?
The way it was built with the pods on it, that's as big as you go, and it's not strong enough to build a second level. That's what we were told, that's 4, 5, 6 years ago. I don't know the correct answer, that's just, you know those day people? That's what they said, so.
I feel like
it's
we
something
could just
have-
add another group of pods.
It'd be a whole different building.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but when we voted on the price, didn't we say a total of 15, 13 financing and 2 with the 2 million, and isn't that what everybody said, 15 million total? So now we're at 17 million?
That's what your fees is.
No, that's not even, the fees gets us closer to 19 million. I thought when we voted, we said 13 financing, and then the 2 million that was already put aside for the various fees and stuff. Maybe I'm wrong.
We don't have a GMP from the Vermont yet, so we're just guesstimating right now. Till we get an actual number from them, the guaranteed maximum price.
Yes, what I have is our monthly project, cost, including fees, except for envoys, was $15,998,000. And then when I add in envoys fees, that's where I come up with the $16,295,000. That's what we were given.
It's capitalized interest.
That's the interest during construction, so that's something we talked about, that we could potentially eliminate that if we were to use cash on hand
Yeah, to offset.
to offset the budget for next year.
Why does the estimated interest rate fluctuate on your?
Go back to page 5 again.
Yep.
And again, and these are estimates, but usually if you buy it, if you went from a local bank, they probably would be more likely to be fixed for the life of the 10 years. But if we do go out and sell this to like an insurance, to an underwriter, they usually find multiple buyers. And if you think about this, if you buy a bond that's 5 years, that matures in 5 years versus the bond that matures in 7 years, you're gonna want a higher interest rate if you're taking more risk the further out you go. That's why you see the interest rates kind of gradually increasing. It's because if it's not a bank, there's probably gonna be multiple buyers that were gonna buy these. And the longer they go out, they're gonna want more interest, just like what we would.
Just a time value
Yeah.
thing.
On that page 5, the top is that principal outstanding starts at 15 million.
Yes.
Any more questions, comment, discussion?
Maybe you answered this a while ago, but say we do the 20-year loan. Can you pay additional on the principal?
If we sold them typically, with the bank, we have to negotiate. Everything's kind of negotiable. Typically, if it's not a bank, we have to wait 10 years before we can refinance them or pay them off early. We
Okay.
could do it earlier, but oftentimes we have to pay a higher interest rate.
Okay.
Because they like that, they want that known amount, that at least we're gonna get this amount for 10 years. And after that, it could be refinanced or paid off early. If we want something shorter than 10 years, we might have to pay a little premium to get that.
Okay.
If we're talking to the banks, that can be part of our discussion with them.
I was just thinking that if for whatever reason down the road we needed a lower payment, we could fall back on that and in better years.
Yeah, if we did 20, 50, or 20, I would definitely structure that at least after 10 years, we'd have that option.
Okay. Okay.
I'm not trying to rush anybody, there's lots of questions, so.
Yeah, and that's why I tried to get on the agenda, because we just got the numbers and I wanted to get this
I appreciate
in
it.
front of you as soon as possible, especially if we're trying to have money in March, if that's when you guys are ready to move. And according to the timetable, in order to meet that, the commissioners, I'd be at the commissioners meeting on December 1st, for their first step, where they would approve in a public meeting some of these parameters. So that's why we would need your guidance on, do you want to do a 10-year, 12-year, or 15-year? Because I need to show, and this is what the impact is, that will be actually going to notice for taxpayers to see, this is the rate impact, this is the notice, so I need to know, do you want to do a 10, 12, 15, or anything in between?
So right now, we're expected to say if we wanna do 10, 12, 15, or 20 when we don't even have a final price from Garmin yet?
Yes.
Is that normal protocol, Jason?
Yeah, and that's because, what we're asking approving maximums not to exceed,
Like when we do our additionals, we have to advertise high.
and that's very common because a lot of times, because of the approval process, it takes longer. A lot of times, you don't get bids until at the very end, and the bids are only good for 30 or 45 or 90 days. It takes longer to go through that approval process. So oftentimes, we're approving not to exceeds.
I'm just going based on the fact that the last time we gave Garmin or whatever a price, they came back with the picture that was what, 5 million over what we asked?
Yeah, and they said that 19 million, that they should have never had that meeting, they should have never given those numbers, because those were not good numbers for them. They should have delayed it and waited, so that was an error on their part there, definitely. It was bad.
Jason, can you explain a little bit for me the allowance for placement fee, underwriter's discount, and the bond issuance
Yeah.
costs and contingencies, what that 440,000 essentially goes towards?
The allowance for placement fee or error discount is whoever buys these bonds, if it's a bank or an underwriter, they're gonna want some kind of upfront fee to purchase these bonds. I just assumed 1%, that's on the high end, you can probably something less, but that's what that fee is, just for the whoever buys these bonds, it costs for them to buy the bonds.
Just the way it is,
Yeah.
and there's no negotiating there or anything?
No, well, 1% is the max that we would allow.
Okay.
So when if we do a competitive sale, on a competitive sale, we would say, here's, we're gonna have to borrow $15,170,000. We'll put together an offering document, we'll send that out to the banks, the underwriters, and say, you give us your best bid. And hopefully we get multiple bids, and they're all gonna be very competitive. So most of them wouldn't do 1% because they're trying to beat the
Yeah.
next guy.
Okay.
And that's how you know you're getting the best deal that day, competition.
Mhm.
With the banks, we could still say, we'd probably allow for the documents that you're approving, not to exceed 1%, but we could go to the banks something less and see if they take that. And then if they, they say 1% and we think, no, we think we can get better in the market,
300,000.
Just a regular house that used to be 100,000 is valued at over 200 now.
Yeah, I almost took it out, because we almost don't use 200,000 anymore, there's years
I'd say an
Very
average
good.
is 300 on up.
And then
You know,
how
I'm
many
trying to figure
Is
out-
that
farmers we
assessed-
have.
Is that assessed value or regular house value? Because these numbers are based off assessed value.
Well, it's this value, yes.
Well, take for instance, the house I live in is 250,000, the assessed value is 170.
Right.
So,
So,
I don't
so
know how
what do you
that,
look at when it comes to charging these fees?
It's the
It's
assessment.
the assessed value.
It's not so much what it
Yeah.
sells for, it's what it assesses.
yeah, it's
Yes.
off the assessed value.
Oh, well, mine went up.
Trying to figure out whether,
Based
the
off of
taxpayer's gonna raise their
Well-
opinion, whether we go 10 years or we go 12 years. I know 10 years is a great way to go, get it paid off, but we're gonna get repercussions because of that rate that's gonna be hit them. Whether it's a little cheaper on the 12s, I don't know.
Well, you figure if you go 10 years, we have, of course, the 911 center comes off this year.
Yeah.
This was the last year for it. You have another 6 years, the Edge Leah bonds pay off. I think it's 6 or 6.5 years. Edge Leah bonds pay off, goes back to Huffman's comment of, we're gonna have to, we got a jail thing coming. So we need to set ourselves up.
Yeah, I figured my property taxes will go up.
You what?
I just figured, I mean, basing it off $1.22 an acre for the
Yeah.
ground and the home, it'll go up $1,610.
Yeah. It's gonna be hitting, farmers hard. I'm just still stuck on the 13 million financing. Cause $2 million is a big difference.
Either the 10 or the 12, and I'm not any thrilled about going any longer than that
I don't
for the
think,
instance of the jail.
So you asking tonight to vote on something like that? Is that what you're asking?
We'll need that in order for us to get the information that you'll need to approve on your December 1st. And if you need more time, I mean, I don't wanna rush you, but that does push the timetable back potentially a month. But that's what you need, I mean, that's,
Do we know we're gonna get the numbers from Garmon?
Supposedly by Thanksgiving.
So next week? Isn't that Thanksgiving? Isn't Thanksgiving next week? Yes.
Merely telling you what we're told.
I understand that, that's next week. So I guess we could call a special
think if we're
meeting.
gonna do something, I mean, I
second
think
week
we
of
should do
December.
it on 10 years. I just, because the local banks have expressed interest, I think we need to make sure that that remains an option and not do something that limits us there, which you said we wouldn't be. But if we're gonna move forward, I think the 10-year makes the most sense. So,
I'm good with that.
You don't think there's any value in spreading that out and paying it early, if we have that option?
If we can get
There's
that
just
option,
too many
that
things in the future that, gonna be
I do,
coming forward,
yeah,
so.
I don't think it's a bad idea, but
And this project's something that was trying to be done 20 years ago when,
Don't even bring me up.
okay. This is something that's been in the works
I just think it leaves options.
since I was a deputy auditor here.
I mean,
a
if
long
we
time
can still
ago,
pay
this
it
has
off
been
in
trying to
10
be done.
years, then we can still pay it off in 10 years. I don't know if that's,
So is that a motion, Jay?
Sure,
I'll second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second for the 10-year.
so, do you have some discussion?
Yeah, discussion?
I just think it leaves options if we can at any time, and you said we'd have to wait 10 years though. Is that right? I just think it leaves options if we do the longer. It lowers our payment, but if we have the money, you can still go ahead and pay it and still not pay as much interest.
wait the 10 years and pay it off early.
Yeah. I just think it leaves options, that's all I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe it's not right.
So if they did the, say, 12 years, play with the numbers, if we did the 12 years, and then when we finally come and decide what we're gonna do, can we still do it at the 10 years at the lower since we're doing it higher? like the additionals we advertise higher, we can do it lower, can you do the same thing with that? You're gonna tell me no.
I think no, because on,
I don't think
because I
so.
think,
Trying.
They're gonna want that interest.
well, not
really
from the
looking
bank's
at.
perspective,
Like, you're
but
gonna have
what I'm
to-
concerned
you're
about,
gonna
I mean, I Brian
tax rate
tried to on this, I guess, is what
So it's just a
what we may
matter
not wanna do is, cause on the
You know,
December
is it-
first, we had to tell the taxpayers, we're issuing $15 million, and we think we're gonna
Right, I
raise
get it.
tax rate.
Yeah, I
which
get
makes
it. I mean,
sense,
one way or
and-
the
and
other,
the tax gonna be
you
this.
either will or you won't have
At
that
12
money.
years,
I don't
and
know
then
if,
we come back
I'm
to
just
a
saying,
10-year
if
bond,
something
now it's not
else
interest,
were
it's
to come
higher.
up and we needed
Gotcha.
to
So
do
that's
something
what my
else,
concern is we get a notice that
maybe we
we're getting
could.
12-year, here's
If
your
it
impact.
doesn't,
and
we
you
got
come back
that money
next
coming
year,
in.
No, no, you're right. I was thinking of it backwards from
Yeah.
that. Okay.
You're not gonna set your tax
Yeah.
rate any higher than what you're.
What, yeah, I got that too. Yeah, I got that too.
Normally, you're right, but it's,
Yeah, yeah, it was totally backwards. Any more discussion? Questions? All right, I have a motion and I have a second. All those in favor say aye. What?
Are we still motioning for the 10? Because we
Yes.
just had
That-
discussion on something else.
Yes, the motion was for the 10 years.
motion
so-
Let me
for the
ask you,
10?
does that,
Yes.
does the 10 make the most sense to you?
you bring up a really good point. I mean, there's really kind of no right or wrong answer. I hate to say that, but you're right. I mean, you have to think about the impact on the taxpayer. 12 years is a little bit less than 10. If you do 12, you have a chance to pay them off early.
Right.
10 is kind of like locking in 10. So there is really no,
Yeah.
it's just really what you prefer.
No. I don't know. What do you think?
We have debt that's gonna be coming off the books, right?
We literally just made our last 911 payment for the EOC.
So what was it? How much was those payments?
Everyone, remember, was it 107? It was over 100 grand, because we borrowed we borrowed $1.1 million or $1.2 million for 10 years.
I'm looking at my computer's not working.
100
And that's something that I can also calculate, probably for the notice, we want to assume there is no extra cash
Right,
to show what the impact is, kind of worst case scenario.
right.
But let's say you have an extra $100,000, I can kind of show,
Property tax
if
gonna
we
be
applied
next year
$100,000
anyway.
and borrowed,
That's kinda what I heard.
1.9 million, it probably would make a big difference in the tax rate.
Okay.
It would reduce the, I can run
I had
it through
heard
so
that
you
they
have an
would.
idea as well, if you'd like.
But if you go from 10 to 12 years, that extra financing is almost gonna cost you $1 million for 2 years. So I don't see, I mean, it ain't up to me.
We've had that, you missed, that's the discussion you missed earlier, so,
Uh,
your exact thoughts on what they discussed earlier, so.
Any more discussion? Okay, let's try this again. I have a motion for 10 years by Jay and a second by Danny. All those in favor, any more discussion? I don't blame you. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed?
I'm just, it's the price. We all voted on not taking more than $13 million, having the taxpayers pay more than that. I don't know how we're adding an additional $2 million that our people are gonna be impacted. That is where I'm stuck at, because $2 million is a big hit for our taxpayers. Because that was the whole reason why we had that meeting and we voted that we would only take, and I think almost everybody said borrow 13 and use the other 2 to total the 15. And now we're closer to 17. So we're borrowing 15.
Did we factor in all the bonds and all that other crap in it?
We just said total.
I thought we said building, was it building price or total? I thought
It was total. We
Okay.
said total. Yeah, so that's my holdup on this whole thing. Like, I know we need this. I know we've been kicking the can down the road, but at the same time, $2 million is a huge increase from what everybody agreed on with no.
I remember 13 to 15, but I don't
That
remember
was-
going, saying 13. I know we talked about between
You were 13, 'cause
15.
That was, we talked about 13, and then with the $2 million that we already had in this fund, that would give us the total of 15, is what we were told that we could get and have part of the basement. I mean, we were all there for that meeting. That's my concern. That is my whole issue with this thing, is because now we are adding an additional $2 million. And if we take $2 million off of this, how much interest are we gonna be saving, and how much less is taxes gonna increase? And we don't even have the total yet from the company. So like, I'm not trying to beat a dead horse, I just don't understand how we all agreed on a price, yet we're just basically saying, just kidding, we're gonna increase it $2 million.
I didn't agree to that price.
And I mean, the $13 million was what everybody said that we would borrow. So now we're at 15.
I said did, I know what the guy at the end of the table said. He said nothing.
Mm-hmm.
You wanna keep the record straight?
I think he said 10. I think you said
I
10.
did say 10.
To be clear, this is an estimate that Baker Tilly's put together and not an actual
Correct,
bid from Garmong,
correct.
so. It's,
So are we hopeful Garmong's gonna come $2 million under that?
I have no idea what they're gonna do, I haven't been to any of the,
I know, we haven't been to any of the meetings, so we're missing out on that part.
I'm just not on that committee. I'm saying he put this together for an informational exercise, if you will.
That we vote on. So it's not just informational, it's requiring a vote.
Yeah, well, the vote is only met the year of the loan.
The
Years.
term, yeah.
Term of the loan to be able to move forward to the next step.
I understand what.
Yeah,
Yes.
the 10-year amount of the $15 million loan that we would be getting, which is what I have confusion about.
I mean, you have, and I'm looking at the timetable from Ice Miller. I mean, really, what I need your approval on tonight is so we can start drafting the documents so the commissioners can be on December 1st, and you'll have another opportunity to be on December 16th. But what I don't want to do is have us draft documents for their meeting on December 1st or meeting on December 16th for that project you don't want to approve on December 16th. That's just, then we'll have to come back for another meeting and review the documents. So that's why I want to have Dave bring it now, because you'll really have another opportunity to approve it.
And the committee did they scale down as much as they could to get at the 15?
We've scaled down everything from the bathroom fixtures to the cheapest of their, whether they're put on the wall or put on the floor.
Not the cheapest.
Whatever's gonna last the longest and gonna be more durable, but we have scaled down every which way we possibly can on, I mean, we had everything set out the first round.
We took trees out of the parking lot.
We did, we took trees out of the parking
Berms
lot.
out of the parking lot.
We had everything set out and they gave us, prices on that. I'm like, okay, let's try this again, and what's the cheaper version of basically everything that we were putting in the building? We went,
And this is
We're
what
still not 100% approved on the site plan either
no,
with the city.
But this is figured in to go next 15 or 20 years. Take care of
the longevity, everything that we put in there.
Longevity of this index to get us, not 5 years, we
No.
have to sit there and put some more in there. This is put together where we can
It's gonna last.
last 15 or so years.
Yes. And have growth if need be. It's got our storage in it, so we can eliminate, extra storage and all the other buildings that we rent. So, and it's got growth in it so that we can move other offices, or the offices are growing. For the most part, with the exception of 2 offices, all the offices are growing now. So they've outgrown where they're at now, and several of them are planning on hoping to grow more, like our planning department, with all the housing and everything being built. They're expecting to have to add more people at some point.
So that was my concern, we didn't underestimate what we needed, where we have to come back and spend
This
a
also
bunch more
includes,
money.
this also includes a build out
Okay.
underneath.
Yep.
That's gonna be shell for that case.
So the full basement?
Mm-hmm.
This is a full basement press.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the options we looked at, because that's like a $700,000 option.
So, I had a motion and a second. What? What? No? What am I forgetting?
I think you've already had a.
I was thinking out loud, my bad.
Yeah, I mean,
You already took a vote,
We
right?
took a vote,
Yeah.
yes,
Eh.
and it was 4, yes, is that correct? There
May
was
wanna
three.
roll call it.
I didn't hear anybody vote against,
No, nobody voted against it.
so.
I had 4.
I don't know if Amanda voted though.
No, I did not vote for it.
Mm-mm.
And I didn't hear anything at this end of the table at all, for or against it.
Okay, so maybe you need roll call. I mean, we need to make sure it is what it is, so we know it's in the minutes.
Evelyn, could you do roll call, please?
Just ask the people.
Yes,
Just me.
yes,
So
just
this
go
is
down
just
the line.
determine the finance. This is
Yes.
the total price, it's just.
Yes.
determine the
Well,
finance.
it's,
Yeah.
we're
Yes.
agreeing on the 15 million, right?
No.
No.
So then why were we given the $15 million until, given all the prices for the 10 million, or the 15 million and the 10-year and all the interest, and we're agreeing to 10 years, but we don't know if that's gonna be the price?
That was a number that we just threw out there to begin with, I believe,
And
correct?
put it in the
Well,
minutes
that's-
specifically.
That's the standard number that Jason used.
Correct.
Okay. What you're approving tonight is the
Term
term
limits.
limits. That's where we have to start. How many years?
The length of,
Well,
we're voting on the length,
well,
right?
And the,
really,
And the
that's
rate.
not necessary because for the December 1st, we're gonna have to show the rate impact
yes, you are.
and, the impact on taxpayers, and right now it's based upon that $16 million
Well,
project.
I'll just tell you this, I won't vote for nothing unless I have a hard number for, I'll just be honest with everybody.
Well, I mean,
We don't wanna vote on anything until we have a hard number.
Well, I mean,
thank you.
No, the
Yes, I
commissioners-
agree with that.
On the commissioner's side, but we have to start this process, because it takes months and months to get this
And
process.
I know,
going.
and I understand that. I think the hard part is, yes, I think a 10-year no matter what, I think a 10-year is gonna be beneficial because we are paying less in interest. Yes, it's gonna be more of a hit on property taxes at the beginning. Yes, I understand that, but, we're gonna have the jail and all these things that are coming up at the end. So I think 10 years is the smarter route. However, I just don't feel comfortable voting on the amount if we don't know if that's the amount. But 10-year, I agree with 10-year. I do think that is smart because it's less interest. So yes, I would vote yes to a 10-year loan, but I'm not gonna say yes to $15 million.
And you have another option on December 16th to vote. So if we vote now to go forward, the board has another opportunity. Let's say you get the guarantee maximum price next week, and it's 17 million, or it's 60 million, and you guys don't like it. You have another chance to vote against it. What I just didn't wanna do was, whatever the number is, whatever the term was, I didn't wanna come on the 16th, and you guys never heard this before, or hadn't heard for over a year. And then documents were set, based on something that you didn't feel comfortable with, and then we had to come back the next month. I was trying to avoid that.
Yeah, I'm comfortable with the 10-year. It's just the price because there's so many uncertainties that I just am not comfortable with that. Cause if they come back with a higher thing and we have to tell them we want it lower, that's gonna throw off our timeline anyways, isn't it?
And again, and that's, again, where I'm not trying to pressure you, we were just trying to, if you're gonna get the price in November, December, if they want us to be able to move dirt in March, we need to start the project, or process now. If you're okay with, waiting an extra month, that's up to bring more information and know what that guarantee is.
Right. And I know that we're working on a joint meeting with Garmong, once they have that numbers. Yeah, with handouts and everything, so everybody can see what the plans are.
We can wait and have the December 1st meeting after that joint meeting, everyone feels comfortable on, then that just is gonna delay
Right.
us getting the funds.
Which will delay the next project.
You've already taken a vote.
We did, so Evelyn, can you do the roll call, please?
Danny, your vote.
Danny, roll call. Are you in
What's your
favor?
vote?
Yes.
Jane?
Yes.
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 No?
Yes.
So, I was
Thank
gonna
you,
say,
Ann.
I don't know why we had to redo it when it was 4, at least.
Anything else to discuss or ask Jason? It's not easy, I get it completely.
When do we get the price?
Hopefully in a week.
Okay,
Yeah,
so, again, if it comes back, we don't like it, okay,
yep, then it will delay everything, which is fine, but
right,
we'll fix it.
And really, I mean, even if, because I'll put together a maximum, like say we go to 10 million, it's, 2,007,000, I'll put like a not to exceed of 2.3 million, like we talked about before. Because if rates, for whatever reason, the project gets delayed, for whatever reason, we can't get issued for 6, 9 months, and rates jump up higher than what I'm showing now, we want to be able to get the approval now, not to come back. But that being said, come March, if something, you don't like something, we can pull the trigger all the way until we have the bond sale in March. So just because you approve it December 1st, December 16th, if things still come in, they start finding, hey, you shouldn't have a problem since it's the guaranteed maximum price, but things still happen. We still have the ability to say no.
Say no.
Up until
okay.
we sell on. My only other question, I guess, is that, and I don't know if we need that answer today so much, if you do know, would you want to pay the interest during the construction and not have to borrow that extra $600,000?
I mean,
And I don't know if we know that for what you have available in your budget for
Yeah,
26 or not, but.
not sure where it's gonna come from.
we take, the last several years, we've taken $1 million out of county general and put into the rainy day, so there is that extra money that is sitting in the rainy day to be able to help keep those costs down also. So that might be an option that we can look at doing. I don't know how much is currently sitting in rainy day. Do you have a rough estimate, Evelyn? Okay,
Sorry.
no, it's fine. No,
Is that something you want me to assume, is we don't have the capitalized interest and we do have that 600,000?
I wouldn't take it out, I'd leave it in, and then we can take it out at a later point,
Right.
if that's something we wanna pursue.
Yeah.
But I would like to take it out and then be unable to do it and have to add it back in.
is there anything else, Jason? Is there any other questions that we have for Jason? Trudy, Evelyn?
And that could be something like after maybe you look at your cash balances at the end of the year.
Yeah.
Okay. So you have a better idea where you're at.
That sounds good. Well, I thank you, Jason, for
Yeah.
coming.
No, thanks for letting me get an agenda.
Absolutely, thank you. If there's nothing else from the board, do I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
I have a motion, do I have a second? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thank you, guys, thank you, everybody, for coming.